Hi, Biology 20. It's Biology with Sherbs, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about your photosynthesis and cellular respiration unit. So I've included some notes in your Google Classroom, and today I thought I would explain to you your photosynthesis process in probably more detail than you've had in the past. I know you're probably familiar with this, which is the chemical formula. It's not the balanced formula, but it's the chemical formula for photosynthesis, which shows that plants take in carbon dioxide and water, and somehow they produce sugar and release oxygen. So today I'm going to show you how that's done. All right. So if you look on the notes, you'll see that inside the leaf, inside the plant cells of the leaf, there are structures called chloroplasts. And the chloroplast is the key to this happening. So inside the chloroplast, there are two parts. There's a grana and a stroma. And the chloroplast grana are like little solar panels. And they capture the solar energy and they use it to excite electrons to a higher energy level. Now those electrons don't like being at a higher energy level. They're unstable, so they like to progressively step back down to their original energy level, and as they do that, we can use that little bit of released energy to create ATP. Now ATP is a storage molecule, a temporary storage molecule for trapping the energy released in the chemical bond of adenosine diphosphate plus a phosphate. Okay, so we use the energy released by an electron as it jumps down this little transport chain, and that's crucial because we attach a phosphate to an ADP, and when we do that we get ATP, which is a nice little energy storage molecule. So here's Mr. Sun. Mr. Sun shines on the grana, on the solar panels, inside the chloroplasts, inside the plant cells, specifically probably in the leaves, maybe the stems, sometimes in the unripened fruits. And so inside those solar panels, in the chloroplasts, we have a couple of things called photosystems. This is where you would have things like chlorophyll, which is a pigment that gets excited by light, by solar energy. So when the solar energy from Mr. Sun hits photosystem 2 and photosystem 1, it shoots electrons to a higher energy level. And as they pass back down to a lower energy level, there are little intermediates that grab them, okay, and hold them temporarily and then release them. And as they get released, they release a little bit of energy which can be trapped as ATP. Okay, so Mr. Sun will then excite those electrons again, and again that process happens where it gets passed from a progressively stronger acceptor, electron acceptor, and as the energy gets released from the electron dropping down to its original energy level again, we make some more ATP. So this can happen as long as the sun is shining. And the other thing that we require is a source of electrons. Well, if I shoot all the electrons out of photosystem 2 and then out of photosystem 1, well, I'm going to need a source of electrons to replenish those. And here comes the first part of the photosynthesis equation, right, is water. So in photosystem 2, the sun causes photolysis, which is the breaking apart of water with light. And so it takes that water and it rips it into hydrogen and oxygen. Now the oxygen is just released out the bottom of the leaf, and it goes out to the atmosphere. And that's why we love plants, because they provide our environment, our atmosphere, with oxygen. Okay, and it comes from the breaking apart of water. Kind of neat. The hydrogen, on the other hand, gives up its electron. It's a really simple atom. It just has a proton, a positive part, and an electron, a negative part. And it gives up its electron, and so there's our source of electrons. As long as we have sun shining and we have water coming up through the roots, then that plant can continue the light-dependent reaction. So the electrons get zapped through, and a little taxi called NADP, right? It's a carrier molecule, so I drew it as a taxi. It takes the hydrogen, the proton, and drives over here, and as the electrons get bounced up and down so that they can release energy to make ATP, the little taxi is waiting for them with the hydrogen proton to reunite it with its electron to make a complete hydrogen. All right? So the two things that are created in the light-dependent reaction are ATP, because we're exciting electrons, and NADPH, which is a taxi full of hydrogen. Those are the useful things that we're going to use in the dark reaction. Okay? And the waste product is oxygen, which to us isn't really a waste because we use it. But to the plant, it doesn't need that oxygen. Okay? The source of oxygen is water, which is kind of cool. And water is also the source of the electrons that keep getting excited so that we can create this little energy storage molecule. Now that and that we created are going to be used to further the process along.